data-driven design was born out of really wanting to give small business owners a better experience, and a way for them to feel empowered to grow their business, whether it was an online business or whether it was a brick and mortar business, but they needed an online presence.
Welcome to the Top 25 Today. I'm your host, Carrie Roberts, and today's interview is part of our Top 25 Today voice technology companies that can help your business scale. Joining me today is one of those companies. I have Data Driven Design, and with its owner, Paul Hickey. Welcome, Paul. Thanks for being here.
Thanks, Carrie. Good to be here, and it's always good to talk to you.
Yes. So you and your company are a lot about small businesses. Can you talk about how your company started, why you created it, and give us a little bit of a brief history of data-driven design?
Make a long story short, I eventually got into the agency world, and I noticed that a lot of agencies were just overcharging clients for websites and SEO services mainly. And so I got really kind of passionate about small business owners really not needing to pay so much for those services. And so data driven design was born out of really wanting to give small business owners a better experience, and a way for them to feel empowered to grow their business, whether it was an online business or whether it was a brick and mortar business, but they needed an online presence.
Yeah, I love that. I think, like you said, it's important to really look out for those small businesses. Can you tell us a little bit more about the types of businesses you sell? I know you're speaking small business, but anything within a particular niche at all?
Well, not necessarily. I mean, niche wise, we do serve multiple verticals. So a good example is we have clients who have upwards of 100 different retail locations throughout the South. And so they would be more on the mid-level business size, although I still consider them small businesses because their marketing department is really only 2 to 3 people that's responsible for their entire digital presence, to just one single person solopreneurs that really thrive on their digital presence through their website and their SEO. So sorry, but no real niche. We really serve a lot of different verticals.
Well, but I mean, part of your niche is the small to kind of mid-sized business, which I think is important to note here. Can you tell us a little bit more about how you help these businesses scale with voice technology?
A lot of people, especially small business owners, like I can speak from experience, small business owners don't really know what the heck we're talking about when we talk about voice technology. So I kind of break it down to them by saying, okay, the data says that there's roughly 500 million total users when it comes to Alexa and Google combined. And so people are getting their information more and more from Alexa and Google Assistant. And so, in terms of how we help them scale, we help them understand that if you can build a simple voice app experience on top of Alexa and Google Assistant, you can really give your audience the ability to easily learn about you by creating an Alexa skill and a Google action out of those experiences. And then, to be very specific, we actually built a WordPress plugin that allows any WordPress website to author voice apps from the back end of their WordPress website and then immediately deploy them to Alexa as a skill and to Google Assistant as an action. So that is free to try. It's called the Voice Designer. And WordPress website owners can search the plugin directory for the Voice Designer, or they can go to thevoicedesigner.com. And then in terms of scalability, I mean, it's only $199 one-time fee to publish that voice experience as a skill and as an action on Alexa and Google. So in terms of like what people can do, I really think any small business owner who wants to provide that voice experience should be able to afford that $199 fee. And then we have all sorts of free tutorials on datadriven.design and on thevoicedesigner.com in terms of how you can actually make the voice experience effective for your target audience.
And can you share with us maybe some success stories that some of your clients have had in ways that they've been able to scale their business using voice technology, which of course in turn makes their clients happy as well?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, I think a good example is a company called Wood North Advisory. So, um, Michael Woodnorth is their owner, and he does some great things along the lines of social enterprise planning. He works with nonprofit organizations, and he's a perfect example of, like, I guess what you could call like a typical client for us. So he has a small team. He started his business just a couple of years ago. He started needing a website, and another client of ours referred him to us just to talk. And he was going to go with Squarespace or Wix. And I just said, you know what? When you go with Squarespace or Wix, you're going to hit a wall, you're going to get stuck, and then you're going to want more as you want your business to grow. And I think Data Driven Design's WordPress solution is as good or better than that and as cost effective. And so for really less than $1,200, he worked with Data Driven Design. He got a data driven website, meaning we used a layout and aesthetics and content that was proven to work based on data in his vertical to get him a nice website. And then we used the voice designer to use the content on his website to build him the voice app. And he's really seen some great awareness and good web traffic and good traffic from his Alexa skill and his Google action. People just learning simple information about his business and what he does. I mean, it's really nothing fancy. So I think that that's a good case study. That's really what I believe all small businesses should be looking at voice in this way right now. Just a way to allow people who just simply want to ask Alexa or Google Assistant for just some quick informational facts about their business. And so we can do the fancy stuff, Carrie, and we have done the fancy stuff with voice. But I think that that Michael Woodnorth and WoodnorthAdvisory.com is a great example of kind of our sweet spot right now with voice.
Yeah. And like you said, for those that are kind of new or not sure about it, it's a great way for them to get into it and then see how it's starting to get people more aware of who they are and scale their business too. What would you say is your brand? Meaning, what makes you unique amongst your competitors? Why should somebody choose your company?
I love that. It's definitely the data. And so one thing I like about our name is that we just kind of come out and say it. And we're not necessarily like a data analysis company. We're a company that uses the data to say, this is more powerful than your opinion on what the design should be. We have tools like Google Analytics and other heat mapping and A/B testing tools that we use to say, look, you don't need to take forever making a decision. Let's just look at the data. Let's move to the next thing. That actually makes projects take less time and cost a lot less money.
Yeah. And like you said, your name says it all in just 3 words, data-driven design. So if people want to connect with you, they want to learn more about what your company does, where is the best place to do that?
The best place is to go to our website, datadriven.design. Although I know a lot of people are getting their information from all over the place. And so we're also everywhere on social media. So youtube.com/Paul Hickey. Instagram, we're at Data Driven Design, and Twitter at Data Over Opinion. We're constantly putting out free content daily, basically, on not only WordPress, but also digital marketing tips, and of course, voice user interface design tips, because that's a very new thing for small business owners. So we're trying to show small business owners how they can learn all of this on their own and implement it.
I love it. Well, thank you so much, Paul, for being here, telling us more about data-driven design and how you're helping businesses scale with voice technology.
Thanks so much for having me, Carrie. And I'd love to have the opportunity to work with anyone out there who might have heard something that sounded appealing to them in this interview. So again, datadriven.design, and people can email me directly to paul@datadriven.design.